Just one of those nights, you know? Just one of those nights.
Just one of those nights.
One of those nights.
What is up, everybody, and welcome into the Winners Lounge. Yo!
Let's go!
I was making a graphic.
Oh, you're making it. Yeah, where were you at, Harrison?
This is foreign territory for me. I'm not usually on these
Harrison has like
just like this.
like a muted, reasonable personality, which prevented him from going
Yeah, I really did.
full.
Really disappointing. But you'll pick it up. You'll get better as we go.
I know I'm usually super tempered. Maybe I'll unleash a hot take or two
Whoa.
tonight.
Wow.
Maybe I'll unleash a
Saturday.
hot take or two.
He's had a couple shots of Rakia, I'm sure. He's ready to go. Guys, the Winners Lounge, as always, is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Use promo code DNVR when you sign up. And as mentioned, we've got the man with the wind in his hair here in studio with us, Harrison.
What a night, guys. I'm here.
Yeah, it's
First
true.
of all.
It's true.
Nuggets won. We got the Abs trending towards a victory right now. We got the Buffs probably going to beat UCLA tonight. We got the Bar absolutely popping.
Man.
As much as as popping as it can be right now.
It's on 100. The bar is on 100 tonight.
Yeah, the bar is popping to the level we are allowed legally to have it pop. It
Exactly
is
50 people
responsibly
there.
popping downstairs.
Over here, the man, this pragmatic man, is D-Line Co. We already have a super. Wow, that was really quick.
Wow,
$5. A $5 super chat is enough for everybody to take a shot. Wow, you're
Yeah.
getting lenient with them, Kel.
See, this is setting a dangerous precedent for the night.
It's so true. Just the first one. First money in gets it for $5. All right.
First
we'll
shot of the night.
First off, you interrupted my goddamn intro, Kale. What the hell? I had a whole thing I was going to say about myself. I don't even remember.
I feel
it
like
now.
this could be a thing. Everybody tries to be the first super chat of the night.
I like it. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you have to go. It's Saturday night, guys, so you know it's ad-free. First of all, ad-free show today,
It's
which
gonna
will
be
be
a
fun.
wild show.
We are watching the Avs here in the background, which is pretty exciting. Hey, Civelli,
No, that's wrong.
I listened to somebody
Let's go
say
to
it.
our official pronunciation guide.
Javili.
Wait,
I
what?
I don't think that's it.
Javili.
I think
Javeli.
it's Javelli. I think it's
Javelli.
Javelli.
Javelli?
Javelli.
Whatever.
Javelli.
Javelli. All right. Woo! Hunking like a goose. There's a lot to get to. Later on in the show, guys, we're going to play Rate the Most Exciting Players on the Nuggets. We're going to go through all the Nuggets players.
Yo.
And on a scale of 5 to 10 to talk about how exciting they are.
Okay.
I can't wait for that. I'm very excited.
On a scale of 5 to 10, yes.
A scale of 5 to 10
That is
because
the
it's the
scale.
it's the yeah, we don't have. I'm sorry. But guys,
no.
this was a fantastic game, and
That
it was
was rough, by the
sorely
way.
needed. It was sorely needed this
needed
game
this.
for the Nuggets. And you know, look, it was a bad team, yes, Oklahoma City, but that doesn't. That doesn't take away from the fact that the Nuggets absolutely dominated from the jump, from the
Right.
get-go. I think Jokic, and this was all the starters, but Jokic stayed in the longest, a plus 23 in his first 11 and a half minutes. So that just tells you the first 11 minutes, Denver's already up 20, Harrison. What does this
Yeah.
game mean, and what do you kind of take away from it being such a blowout?
Well, to your point, they've had wins against bad teams before.
Yeah.
They've even had easy wins against
Sure.
bad teams before, but they haven't played that complete game. I mean, tonight, like you said, they dominated from the jump. Offensively, defensively, the big three, which we'll get to, it was all there. So, like, they've piled up wins against some bad teams this year. They've also lost some of those games, but the games where they've just dominated from the opening tip till the end, those have been few and far between. And I think that's what makes this win even more of a feel-good win. It's a W, but it's also exactly the type of W you want to see. You want to see the big three
Yep.
have chemistry and all have good
Yep.
games. They did. You wanted to see some things from the bench. You got that as well. So everything that you want to see, you saw tonight.
Eric, what's kind of like your first impression from this game?
This game felt like we were playing an opponent that was on the second night of a back-to-back. The Thunder are garbage. Man, what a terrible team.
It's weird that they've been giving teams a hard
the
time.
Thunder play you hard, as
Yeah.
we saw a couple weeks ago. They had 1-2 in a row. I mean, the Thunder aren't going to make the playoffs, but they're not a Cleveland, I don't think.
Right. They still had some guys.
Yeah,
I mean, Denver made them look really bad tonight.
To me, they looked really bad in the presence of Denver. They looked like they were a tired team, like they were on the second
Sure.
night of a back-to-back. It really allowed us to see what our team is capable of without any resistance.
Yeah.
It's like essentially shooting in an empty gym, but with an
Man,
opponent.
see, This is the hard thing about a win like this, is it's so hard to parse between, like, what did Denver do well, what did the team they were going up against.
I mean, I will say they just came out and punched them right in the mouth and just reminded them they had no chance tonight.
And here's where I'm going to go. So you guys, both of them, I think, very valid points. Where I want to start is Michael Porter Jr. Because I really believe this, and you guys saw the headline tonight. We've seen Jokic and Murray playing well now for the last 7-8 games. I don't know what it's been. I mean, Jokic all year. Murray for those last 7-8 games, he's really just – and by the way, he's back. We're going to talk about him. Like, there's no questions asked now.
He's freaking
his shot is so in. But Michael Porter tonight, right from the jump, and we commented on this. We're all watching it together here at the DNVR studios. Right from the jump, he had a different sort of urgency to him and a different pep in his step. And I thought that watching him, he had confidence. He was looking for his shot, but staying within him. It just looked like things were coming together for him in a way. And when he gets going, we know Jokic is going to be going. But when he gets going, and you have Murray going, and you have all that, the result is a blowout. And that's what happened tonight. Was you got that contribution from him. What did you see from Michael Porter tonight?
Yeah, just the confidence, like you were saying. And it's funny. Now, 4 games ago, he played 19 minutes against Atlanta. And
should have played more. That was a weird one.
He should have played more. And I think it was you, Adam, who brought it up to me. Like, maybe Malone regretted that decision.
Well, I brought it up to you, but it was Matt Moore. I have to give him a shout. My co-host on Locked On.
Our guy Matt brought it up. Maybe Malone regretted that decision. And Porter then played 40 minutes the next night against Portland.
Yeah.
41 minutes the night after that, or I guess technically 2 nights later against the Wizards. Played all the important minutes tonight, even though he only ended up with 28. He played the meaningful minutes tonight. Like, I've got to think 2 back-to-back games where he plays 40 minutes. That's got to give you some confidence, no?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this is the beautiful design. We have broken Michael Porter Jr.
we are slowly. Hey, we did great work, Harrison. We broke him.
We're slowly bringing him back. We're seeing what it looks like when you force him to focus on fundamentals. You force him to not just be the guy that can flash on the court and get by just shooting the lights out, unreliably, by the way. And you just make him like play within the system, but then like start to slowly build up this confidence, start to flourish more and more. I mean, this is the recipe for success for the Denver Nuggets. Like, it's beautiful to behold.
It really is true. By the way, the king of the game tonight, 20 points. Look at the stat line. 20 points, 10 rebounds. That doesn't sound that impressive, right? It was in 28 minutes.
Yeah.
And half of those were like 6 passes before somebody shoots because we're up by 30, whatever.
And he had, 4 or 4 from 3 in the first?
4-4, yep.
So he had 12 points in like the first 6 minutes of this game, I think.
Well, I know that because I told you pregame that you should take the Michael Porter 3-pointers, even though they're raising them up. And by the way,
I think I said that for the record.
Did you say that?
Anyways, go. You can have it.
I said take everything Jamal and everything MPJ.
This was a great day for our betting.
Big night all around.
Everybody that followed our bets on the pregame show had fun and won money. All right, Harrison, I didn't realize you had said it. I thought I had said it. You said it. Okay.
I don't need the credit.
You don't need the credit. But we didn't sweat that one because it was over immediately. Right. He comes out and starts draining threes. And I'm telling you, it was the confidence. And to your point, Eric, you're right that we have had confident MPJ and we've had unconfident MPJ. And we've had locked in on the fundamentals MPJ and not locked in. What we haven't had is confident MPJ and locked in on the fundamentals
Complete
MPJ.
Game, dude. We witnessed the fall, the tower.
The tower destruction of the tower.
Michael Porter Jr. having to look himself in the mirror and realize that he was not necessarily playing like the player that he knows that he is, and had to sort of like reset expectations. He's not used to people being like visibly and like really outwardly upset and disappointed in his play. Yeah. So like now we're just slowly building it back. Like this is how you build like a real confident, reliable NBA player. That's how you do it. That we did it. I'm taking credit.
It really was encouraging to see him play with as much confidence as he did because I think it had been a while. And the last couple of games there have been pockets of confidence or this or that. But I thought that tonight you saw just an extremely and supremely confident Michael Porter and one that still was trying to figure out what he was supposed to be doing. It wasn't like when we've seen confident MPJ before, maybe he makes 2 shots in a row and he comes down and does his little like rocking the ball back and forth, sidestep 3. And he's so good at those. Like, sometimes he hits them.
He can have those.
But tonight, to get 20 points on just... How many shots did he take, by the way?
11.
11 shots is absurd efficiency, especially when you factor in he only had 2 free throws.
Yeah, and he was 2 or 3 from 2-point range, and I thought he had a nice attack to the rim. And like that's been a big thing with me. I'm like, the game is going to become so easy for him when he realizes that he can just shot fake and get literally any defender up in the air,
right,
and then just have a wide open lane to the rim. If he starts doing that more and more, I mean, the game is just going to become so easy for him.
And to your point, that Atlanta game, which I thought was a good game from him, or an okay game. I thought it was an okay game, and he got benched. The 40 minutes, and now this one. I do feel like it is a solid uptick for him, and one that I hope carries momentum. You got 3 games before the All-Star break. If you broke the season down, naturally, the NBA actually did this for us. They only gave us half the schedule. They only gave us up until the All-Star break.
Right.
And then, so now that we have it, you can really break the season down as pre- and post-All-Star break. And if, to your point, we did get the full destruction of the tower. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, our resident witch read tarot cards. It's so funny to have to explain this.
The greatest thing is that we have a resident witch.
We do have a resident witch, Shouts to Ariana, who predicted this season that Jokic's season.
She didn't predict.
Well, that's true. She revealed.
Simply asked the tarot cards what was to be. She wasn't affecting what was going to happen. She was simply
revealing to us.
She was revealing.
She was just the messenger.
She was just the messenger.
And everything she said has actually been 100% accurate.
It's actually been
actually crazy.
It's actually been upsettingly accurate.
But, if it is true, then we do look for a second half with Michael Porter where, you kind of you build back up. And I do think, the tarot cards aside, I do think there is something to
there absolutely is.
The confidence that Michael Porter is playing with when he plays within himself and now knows better what to do is a stronger and sturdier confidence than the one where the guy hits just sometimes sidestep threes, which are awesome. Like, he was able to do that anyway. So tonight, for me, that was story number 1 with a bullet was Michael Porter, and it just the way he played well and the way he affected the game. Storyline number 2 for me, Jamal Murray. Tonight he was a plus 30 in 31 minutes. Almost every minute he was on the court, he was a positive. He had 26 points tonight on 15 shots. You want to talk about efficiency, man?
I do want to talk about efficiency.
We should talk about it. And 4 of 6 from the three-point line, including...
He got his threes, baby. He got his threes.
I'm so glad I hopped in on that bet because it was the most fun... pointless bucket.
Give us the play-by-play.
Give us the play-by-play. Take us inside the DNVR
greatest
lounge.
Moment that ever happened in DNVR betting history happened tonight, whereby Jamal Murray coasting along, scoring at a very easy clip. Some would say he was scoring 1 point for every minute that he was on the floor.
Some people were saying that.
Uh-huh.
He was 1 3-pointer away.
He was 2.
Well, he was 2. But, I mean, so he hit a 3-pointer going into...
This is no less spectacular because they were back-to-back possessions.
All right. You're right. He was 2 away from his 3-point total. He was, I believe, 3 points... Oh, it must have been 6 points away then.
5, I think.
From his point total. He hits a 3-pointer. We're all like, yay, all right.
R.J. Hampton comes to the bench.
We see R.J. Hampton going to check in at the scorer's table.
Jamal saw him too. We saw him, but Jamal also saw him.
Jamal Murray is coming out. Jamal Murray sets up from 3, goes up to shoot it, passes off.
He literally goes to shoot it and passes in the air.
Passes it off. I think
the hardest thing he's ever done.
I don't even remember who went
Campazo,
to.
I think, but yeah.
Whoever it was shot it, missed it. A crazy rebound happened. Gets it, somehow finds itself back in the hands of Jamal. He shoots.
No. He drives in, and we're like, no.
Then he
steps backwards,
hits a 3. We all cheer. He hits his 3-pointers.
Checks
hits his
out.
Points. Checks right out. I checked in. Dude, it was the greatest thing.
It was honestly the most fun you can have up 30. Like that little sequence mattered so much, and we were going nuts.
It was like the ultimate billboard for why sports betting rules, because that was such an
because I won $5.
Yeah.
I was like,
at that point, if you were just watching the game for the outcome, it was like, what are we still watching this?
Yeah. But Jamal Murray tonight goes 4 of 6 from the 3-point line. As I mentioned, 26 points on 15 shots. Just insane efficiency. And guess what? Par for the course over the last 2 weeks. This guy has been. I mean, Eric, you've declared a lot of people and things back, and you've been very defensive when we've said.
I've not.
You've been very defensive. Oh man, we get another one.
Avs are up 2-0.
Hell yeah,
2-1,
AJ.
2-1.
2-0.
2-1.
Oh, 2-1.
2-1.
I have declared things very boisterously to be back several times, and I've been right.
You're very definitive in your declarations. I will give you
Harrison.
that. Yeah.
I'm so glad you're here.
This is why I'm here.
To Adam to team up on me.
It's okay. It's going to be okay. No, but seriously, guys, Jamal Murray. I mean, this is I don't want to say bubble Murray because that's putting, I think, a little bit too much, or whatever. But it's honestly not that far off. Like, for the first 2.5 months, whatever it was of this season, he was performing at exactly the same levels he has for the last 3 years. Over the last 2 weeks, and I do feel like it was a shake-off moment. He took that game off. Do you remember? He took a game off. He came back and he had 2 games that were kind of mediocre, and then all of a sudden elevated. And one thing that happened in that period, Harrison, I'm curious if you sort of agree with this. He was talking about the knee and the elbow and all these different things. And there was a game, one of those ones where after he came back, where he's just like, I'm just not very good right now or whatever. And I almost felt like mentally it was a throw the excuses out, whatever it is, like, let's get back to this. And since that moment, absolutely dominant.
He definitely had like this come to Jesus moment where he was like, yeah, my start to the season hasn't been great. I've been inconsistent.
Exactly.
I've been the same guy that I've been at the start of every regular season. And that ate at him. Like, knowing Jamal, that probably crushed him.
Right.
Because we know what he thinks of himself as a player. We know what he thinks he should be. But like you said, over the last 2 weeks, he's averaging around 30 points a game. He's putting up better or around the same overall numbers than he put up in the bubble.
Back.
And the bubble was 14 plus 5, 19 games. So, like, around half the games or so, he's been putting up those same numbers. And here's a stat for you guys.
I was waiting for the
Jamal Murray
to us before, and I can't wait.
And Michael Porter Jr. going off in the same game, that's very uncommon. That never happens.
It hasn't happened previously.
Right. It's happened, I believe, once this year. Like,
how do we rate this? 20 points?
When Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray scored 20 points a game, tonight was only the 4th time that's ever happened. Ever.
Wow.
When Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. have scored 20 points or more each. Usually, like, Michael Porter Jr.'s had a bunch of 20-point games. They've usually come when Jamal's been out of the lineup.
Yeah.
In that seeding round, the bubble, even a little bit in January last season when MPJ really got going. This is a rarity. Like, Jamal and MPJ do not hit 20-plus points in a lot of games. They hit it in Cleveland earlier this year when Jamal had 50, or against Cleveland. But this does not happen normally.
Just you wait.
So that's big.
We've broken him down, and now we reap the rewards.
What do you keep giggling about over here? Like, it's almost like you're watching a different show.
I'm worried about your mic right now.
I'm in the chat.
You're monitoring the chat.
I'm monitoring the chat. I love our commenters. I also, when the Nuggets win in such a fashion, it makes me feel very jovial. I'm reminded why life is important and why things are nice. What were we going to name this?
Excitement ranking or
meter,
rater,
excitometer.
All right. Coming up,
the joy scale.
You'll see the excitometer any minute.
The giggle scale. I don't know. Yeah, so that is an interesting stat because you are right that so much of Michael Porter's success last season came when Murray was out, or in the seeding round or what have. So that is kind of interesting. And tonight it really was, I think, pretty seamless. And I do wonder, too, like, tonight everybody ate, but I do think there's a little bit of a drop-off. If you talk about the peak of the big three, those 3 guys together, there probably is a point drop-off from Murray, from MPJ, and from Jokic.
Yeah.
Tonight they all kind of ate, but Jokic tonight only 19 points. Even if Michael Porter, 20, but 28 minutes. Like, I
think I said this during the Cavs game when MPJ and Murray did each have 20. Jokic that game had 16, 12, and 10.
His favorite game.
A somewhat similar night that he had tonight, and that, in my opinion, is the recipe. If Jamal and MPJ are going to get 20+, Jokic's probably going to have a night like tonight. I mean, 19 points, that's still a pretty decent amount, but he's going to have a lot of assists if those 2 are going off. Like, that's the recipe for sure.
Jamal Murray, by the way, 5 assists as well to go with 2 rebounds. We should talk about Jokic's night because we talked about plus 30 and 31 minutes. Jokic even more absurd. 30 minutes tonight, plus 34. I mean, that's absurd.
2 steals as well.
Dude, Jokic
in 30 minutes.
The only way to describe Jokic's night was a dominating workman-like performance.
Yeah, it really was
like he just went about his business, but like just
that's very like reporter of you.
Yeah, that's so true.
Harrison
so
just
true.
compliments all night. Yeah. I don't know what to do with myself. You know what I'll probably do? Giggle.
Well, you know what defined the night for Jokic? If there was a play that summed up how tonight went, it was the one-handed, one-legged rebound, one-handed, one-legged putback. That was just like, nobody else makes that play on purpose.
No one tries that.
Sometimes guys make it on accident where they like fumble the ball and then it goes in and they're like, oh.
Or they're jumping back to get it and just swat it in. But no, Yoke doesn't jump. He just grabs it. And
so tonight, 19 points, 11 rebounds, 13 assists.
Plus 34.
Plus 34. 8 of 10 shooting, which I just love. Like, took 10 shots begrudgingly. But
he was so deeply efficient that it was like, it was almost like he was put out a little bit. Like, all right, whatever.
Yeah,
I've got to look at the stats on this, but that foul line jumper, man, that thing is cash
It is cash.
now.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
that thing
we were
is
talking about who the
cash.
best shooter is on the Nuggets, and after this pregame show declared that it was Zeke Naji at some point, and then it was Michael Porter Jr.
It's Michael Porter. It's Michael Porter's the best
was
shooter.
number
Michael
2.
Porter Jr.
It's Michael Porter, guys.
I have a hard time eliminating Jamal Murray from that conversation, and I have a very hard time eliminating Nikola Jokic from that conversation.
I'm curious who everybody thinks is the
Murray
best.
is like a top shooter.
Will you
on
monitor
Earth.
these comments? Who is the best shooter on the Nuggets roster? I said preseason. I said Marcus Howard. I'm going to take the L on that one. Marcus Howard turns out.
First comment, Jamal Murray.
Okay.
It's Michael Porter Jr.
I think it's Michael
He's
Porter.
the best
man.
shooter
We don't
on
have
the
to
Nuggets.
overthink this.
Okay.
He just doesn't miss, man. He does not miss. What does he shoot? Harrison, while I'm talking here, we look up what he's shooting.
He's
we have a
40,
vote for Bull Bull.
He's only shooting 38.5% from 3. That's before tonight. So that's
probably back up above 40.
to around 40 now.
Let's talk about the Nuggets' big three. First of all, Harrison, was this the best game from the big three?
I've got to think so, yeah. I mean, Murray, Jokic, MPJ, 22 of 35 from the field. They combined for 7 of 12 from 3.
Yeah.
Just incredible efficiency. They were in control the whole night. They had great chemistry with one another. Everything was in the flow, it seemed like. You know, it wasn't like it was the Jokic-Murray two-man game for a quarter. Then MPJ tried to ISO and take over. It was all in the flow.
Dude,
and that's another rarity.
That's the greatest part about this night is that it didn't, like, MPJ was cooking, and then Jokic was cooking, and then Jamal was, like, nobody was, like, stepping on anybody else's toes. They were sort of, like, allowing each other to sort of have the stage and showcase what they're able to do, and they did. Like, it was one, then the next, and the next. Like, there wasn't, like you're saying, it wasn't, like, just predicated on that two-man game where, you know, Murray is driving. There's a lot of pocket passes. There's it's sort of just like, all right, you do it. And I mean, that's what you want, right?
Yeah. And I felt like even early to that point, Eric, there were times because Michael Porter came out absolutely on fire and aggressive. And I was like, give it to him. He just hit 2 in a row. Like, let's go for 3.
Yeah.
And Jokic wouldn't. He'd go to Murray, and then Murray would make it. And I'd be like, well, all right, that was a good choice.
You're like,
that was a good choice, too.
It's not what I specifically asked for, but I guess it's cool.
Yeah, you knew best than me. So, to me, this felt like the best glimpse we've had of the big three. And yes, again, it came against Oklahoma City. Like we totally get it. It came against a bad team and great favorable circumstances. But it doesn't matter because you have to crawl before you walk, before you run. And
sometimes you don't see it ever from anybody.
That's so
like
true.
The fact,
it's a great point.
That's what I was saying.
It's a
like,
great
this
point.
is sort of like when it was kind of like a little bit like they were playing in an empty gym because the Thunder were just so resigned after that first quarter. Like, it's nice when teams know that they're beat right away and they sort of just like they just started jacking up a bunch of threes. Like, it was just like it was like a clown fest from that side of the court. But all the same, like, the Nuggets still were just operating in a way that wasn't just Michael Porter Jr. coming down and with a heat check 3 and Jamal Murray just jacking them up. Like, they were still running their offense, and you just saw what it could look like.
Yeah.
What it could look like.
And 19 assists in the first half, again, to show you it wasn't one guy. It was a good team effort. They finished with 30.
And also, it's just a glimpse of how dominant this offense can be.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
This is the 5th best offense in the league. I think they have a much higher ceiling than that.
Potentially the greatest offense of all time.
They can be the greatest offense of all time. I've said that before. But it's not even like somebody had 30 tonight. Nobody had over 30. Porter had 20. Jokic had 19. Murray had 26. If those 3 are clicking, this offense is unstoppable.
Yeah.
It's absolutely unstoppable.
And the thing is, we talk about this All-Star break. This hasn't been the most enjoyable season in the Jokic Malone Conley
They're
era.
never enjoyable. Last season was miserable.
No, that's not true.
Bubble.
No, that's not true.
Dude, all we did was talk about vibes. This is what it is to be an NBA fan, is that you always expect your team to win. They don't There's so many games. Like the only people that have ever had a season where they were just like, oh, this is awesome. The entire season were the Warrior fans.
Right. It's
4 or
so
5
true.
years ago.
Or the
And
96
the
Bulls.
Nuggets in 2018,
Yeah.
2019.
And they got to the point where they were like kind of worn out by it. Like it wasn't like that fun anymore because they expected to win every night.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, this is a little bit different. Brendan Vogt has said that he's only heard from Michael Malone again so far. We gotta call.
Are they having another Serbian feast or
We gotta
something?
call Nuggets PR and be like, "Yo, what's going on here, man? We have a show.
It's almost like they don't care.
They
about
don't. They don't care at all about the media's time frames or whatever. It's insane. There's that. Hopefully, we'll hear from him before too long. But this we talked about the season not maybe being as fun. None of it matters if you could throw out every other benchmark for the season. If you got Michael Porter integrated. Denver had a big 1 in 2017 and 18. They had a big 2 last year, like really solidified the big 2.
Huge.
If you
2.
can get to a big 3, that's it. That's the end game. There is no big 4.
Dude, it's the only. I hate to boil it down to this, but it's the only goal of this season.
Right.
It's
like if
the only
Michael
goal.
Porter Jr. becomes the third guy and there is a legitimate big 3, the season is a success.
100%.
It just is, man. That is the only goal this year.
There's a reason that's like a very commonly used phrase in the NBA, the big 3.
It's because when you get there, it's curtains.
Yeah, it's
you know.
you come to realize like how deeply important it is, and then all of these things. Like we spend all of our time just arguing the margins. Like, but when it comes down to the big moments, it's like, can your big guys perform in the big moments better than the big performances of other teams you go up against? But I mean, obviously, it's like Harrison says, you don't want to reduce the season down to just that. It's like not just how you get to the playoffs, but at a certain point, like for the Nuggets, like this entire season is a prelude to the playoffs.
Right.
In that they have to figure out how to do it.
Right.
Which is why it's so important. But
The
it's like
season was always about the process. It always was.
Do you the comments? What's the temperature on the comments?
I'm
Kale, what's the temperature on the comments for?
I'm making the.
Are they as hyped about the performance of the big 3, or is it more of a this is an OKC? Because I think both perspectives are fair.
People are hyped, but it's very much like we took care of business.
Yeah.
And I love that. A business-like approach from the comment section.
Workmanlike.
I love it.
Workmanlike.
Workmanlike.
It's Saturday night. But you mentioned, the margins don't matter. And I'm going to push back on that a little bit. Well, you didn't say that. I'm putting words in your mouth. You said F the margins, no other players matter, Eric. And I think you're wrong, and I'm going to explain why now. Because I do feel like we've had some good moments from not like what we saw tonight, but we just had a game, and this game almost appeared to be going that same direction. Nuggets up 20. Second unit comes in, immediately starts to let it slide, and outside of that second quarter, I felt like the bench unit did a much better job of kind of figuring things out. Zeke Naji gets 15 minutes tonight, but the other starters, Will Barton and Monte Morris in particular, they both have efficient nights. Will Barton gets 15 points on 50% shooting. Monte Morris gets 13 points on 6 of 9 shooting. So you did get the others contributing in a way, and again, it wasn't just the big 3; it was also the contributions of those guys.
I thought it was a really important night for Barton, for sure. I mean, coming off that game 2 nights ago against the Wizards, man, he
was up and down in this one
so badly.
Well, he was as bad as he's ever played in that game
against Washington.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was as bad as he's ever played, and this was, by his standards, absolutely a bounce back game.
He had a dunk off of a Jokic drop off that he got up way more than I thought possible at this stage. With
it was
his
like
help.
that dunk a couple games ago. But I mean, just for him to put some points on the board and have an efficient night, and look, 6 rebounds, 5 assists as well, a well-rounded game.
Yeah,
It's just so important for him to have a confidence builder like this.
Another thing I want to go to here. Michael Porter Jr. has been playing the 4 for the last 3 games. He's been at power forward. And if we go through those games, 20 points, 18 points, and then only 12 points, but still a double-double, 12 and 10. So 3 straight double-doubles playing the power forward spot. Wow. 3 straight games, two of which he has great efficiency, 63%, 54%. 3 games ago against Portland, only 44%, but Denver wins that one. Is it important for him to be in the power forward spot, Harrison?
Yeah, I think it's important for him. He doesn't necessarily need to start there, I don't think, but it's important for him to get some time there every game. because it makes the Nuggets offense that much more unstoppable. I really do. When you have him at the 4, surrounded by just another shooter, more playmaking, like that takes the Nuggets offense up a notch, I think. Now, him playing at the 4, it's probably going to come down to, can he keep it together defensively enough on the backside of the defense to let Malone play him there in really high leverage situations? That's going to be the determining factor. But yeah, I think it's important for him to get some time there game to game.
Yeah, I always wonder about this, like, because of the concept of positionless basketball, like how much it means to have somebody be the official 4. But it feels like maybe a lot of their plays are predicated on where that means you're standing on the court. No, I'm asking here.
Well, what I think it's more has to do with is JaMychal Green and Paul Millsap are 4s.
Right.
They are not positionless. They might be 5s in backup lineups.
Positionful.
They're
very
least
positionful.
positionless players on the roster.
By far the least. Like PJ Dozier can be a 1 or 2 or a 3 or a 4, I
Maybe
guess,
a
if we
4,
really
yeah.
squint, right? But and Michael Porter can be a 2, a 3, a 4. But Paul Millsap and JaMychal Green are 4s.
But what does it mean then if MPJ is playing alongside, say, a JaMychal Green or a Paul Millsap, and he's still just hanging out outside of the 3-point line? Does that, in allowing Green or Millsap to play like the dunker position, does that mean he's not playing the 4? I mean, does it really come down to more defensive positioning when it?
First of all, the defensive aspect of this, I think, is a lot, but I think it has more to do with who he's playing alongside, and that's the point. Is Jokic is a special position, right? Like he's outside center is really what he's playing. But then if you have 4 perimeter players as opposed to 3 plus 1, that's the difference. And with Michael Porter, when he's the 4, that means you have 4 outside players, including him. He gets an opportunity they need him to rebound more. They need him to do this or that. He's matched up opposite of guys that are more stretch 4 types or whatever, and he can just dominate them athletically. So I think it's a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
And that was another big thing with his night. The fact that he had a great offensive night, but also still had 10 rebounds.
Yeah.
Like, that's got to 3 games in a row. That's got to mean a little something extra to Michael Malone.
10 rebounds, 3 straight games in a row, and I really do think that's kind of important. And what's funny about it is Michael Porter, you know that there's like Michael Malone has challenged him to get that, because 2 or 3 rebounds per game definitely are like 3 different Nuggets surrounded or rebounded.
Yeah.
He's like,
I'm taking this rebound.
I gotta get it. Malone told me I'm coming out if I don't get 3
Guys,
rebounds.
I don't want to get it. I have to.
I have to here. If we just go through the bench lineup real quick, Zeke Naji, 15 points. He gets 15 minutes. He gets 3 points, 5 rebounds. I thought he did some positive things.
Yeah.
There was nobody for him to guard for us to key in on tonight.
True.
Right.
But he did knock down a shot. Vlatko,
5 rebounds for Zeke is big, I think, in 15 minutes. I mean, that's been something that the Nuggets have wanted to see more from him. And Michael Malone, too. He's like, Michael Malone said this a couple days ago, like, we know Zeke can shoot. He can defend. We want to see him rebound. So I think 5 rebounds is significant.
Yeah, again, like anything that Zeke Naji or RJ Hampton do is just, it's just like a beautiful view into what will come. And you just want to see them have positive moments on the court. Like, I'm really glad that we're getting back to a place where we don't have to rely on their productivity and what they're actually doing. But like you can just it's just like Michael Porter Jr. Like, you just want these guys to feel more comfortable on the court and for the game to slow down and for them to actually just get into the place where they're doing what they've done their entire lives, and not think about the fact that they're up against NBA competition, which they were only sort of tonight.
The other guy off the bench, Facundo Campazo, who's now like pretty much solidified himself as the 6th man in this configuration. He gets 24 minutes and he gets what does he go for tonight? 9 points, 3 steals, by the way, and all those steals, like, that guy is such a pest. And they came a lot in garbage time.
Are we
let's be
positive he
honest.
didn't steal it from our teammates, though?
A lot of these came in garbage time. He gets 2 rebounds, 1 assist. What did you make of Facu's night tonight?
It seemed like a classic Facu night. Like, it was a vintage Facu night. Like 3 steals, of course, some like ridiculous plays, but also 3 turnovers. It was a classic Facu night.
The turnovers were like the first part of the, because remember we talked about they blew the lead early, the second unit. I thought he was a lot to blame for that early on. Yeah. But then, of course, in garbage time, he gets some of those steals that nobody else on the team gets. Like Gary Harris gets steals with like quick hands or this that. But Campazzo gets him off of like just being so like quick and his aggression is honestly, it's unmatched. He's so aggressive going for like
he does stuff on defense in terms of who he decides to double, when he decides to double. He does stuff on defense that no other player does.
Yeah.
Like no other defender even thinks of, oh, I'm going to
No.
double this guy.
Yeah, totally.
Nobody thinks of that.
He's
the
pure
stuff
energy.
that he does.
He's pure energy. And
Yeah.
Pure energy.
not
Nuggets
only is
need
he
it
pure
too.
energy, but he doesn't play out of control, which is a very like rare.
He teeters on it.
I don't think he does.
Oh, I
Honestly,
think he
like,
teeters on it.
Yeah, I think he does too.
I think that sometimes it looks like he is a little bit, but he's sort of like then will do something that shows you like, oh, he is like really comfortable in this role. But
If he was a race car driver, like you're right, that they are more capable of staying in control than I am, and maybe he's even more capable than the average person.
Yes.
But he also keeps it in the red, like he just does not.
Yeah.
He has to
when
keep
he
it in
does
the red.
just
He does have to keep it in the
the
red.
full arm whip pass
Yeah.
like across the court. Does he do that for show, or does he do that because he needs to get the
No, he
extra oomph on
absolutely
it?
needs to. Yeah.
Right.
He's thinking this one has a tight window. I better throw this 95 miles per hour.
It is a
I
little,
like Campazzo.
It
I
is
like
a little
him, I'm a
wild
fan.
with Campazzo how he totally took advantage of Gary Harris and PJ Dozier being out.
Absolutely.
He just rose to the occasion
Absolutely.
and became this guy who's just penciled in for 20 plus minutes a night, even when the Nuggets probably
he's
get
a
fully
Malone.
healthy.
He's a Malone guy.
He totally
Malone
is.
You know what? I know how Malone played in college. It was Campazzo. Like he was 100% the Campazzo of like
the
lower
phrase you're
level.
looking for is try hard. He and Malone are absolute tryhards. But I'll
Yes.
just never forget. I'll never forget that first preseason game when Campazzo came off the court and Michael Malone shook his hand like they just completed like a multinational deal. Like or like his son just hit a home run.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
I could see Campazzo, like nobody's ever been invited to Malone's house except for Campazzo.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
hey, he lives there. He's
They
got like
just
a
have
little
these
wing.
deep basketball
Oh,
conversations.
for sure. The other guy, you mentioned Dozier. Composure was back tonight, and that was a big story.
Composure.
I actually, the game,
looked
before
great.
Composure ever even checked in, this game was over. So I'm not saying it was the reason that Denver won by any means. But I do think that you saw tonight why he was valuable, just like another type of player. And I do think Denver maybe has too many types of players. And so they almost have to pick and choose between the right ones. But I think Dozier provides something that, tonight you saw a little bit of it.
Isn't it nice
Totally,
to have
totally.
options?
It is nice
It
to
is
have
nice.
Like to have you have an archetype that you need where you need a wing or you need somebody that can just defend the perimeter, and like if it's a night where PJ Dozier doesn't have it, like you can look to Gary, obviously. Like if neither one of them are bringing it, you can look to RJ Hampton. Like it's pretty beautiful.
And it's funny because Dozier had been out for so long that I feel like even I forgot the type of role he plays. But he might have been on minutes limit tonight. I don't know. But like against Oklahoma City, other than SGA, there's just not a lot of guys for him to guard.
Yeah.
He is a guy who, okay, if you're playing a Luka Doncic, if you're playing, I don't know, a Steph Curry, if you're playing a De'Aaron Fox, like he's going to play 25, 30 minutes a game.
for sure.
If you're playing a team that doesn't have those super dangerous guards, he's probably going to play 15 minutes a game. So it's tough to like recalibrate yourself a little bit to the type of role he's going to play, but I think he's going to be a huge piece going forward. I really do. I think he's going to be really important.
He had the third most rebounds tonight, which I find is just a hilarious
Dude, he
stat.
looked great, and I don't remember I don't remember thinking about PJ Dozier as like a great finisher at the rim, but he had like a really impressive.
He's so long,
finishes.
man.
Yeah,
So long.
Still managed
He
to
looked great, dude.
3 of 7 from the field, so still a little bit, but whatever. Most of that was garbage time. The last guy that actually played minutes tonight that we should talk about is Hartenstein. If there's one guy who maybe wasn't necessarily great. Oh man, we got another super chat. Oh, that guy I thought Kale was getting up. Oh, it's a question one. Oh, hell yeah.
Nuggets have been on a lot of road trips. Need to finish this one strong. We're finally seeing the trio start to focus.
Oh, nice. Yep.
It has.
Yep, for sure.
Great observation, Luke.
You get it, Luke.
Very
You
astute
get it.
observation.
So Hartenstein tonight. Eric, I'll start with you because you have some Hartenstein takes.
Hartenstein is not that good of a basketball player. Like, he's a big guy. He seems like he should be better than he is. He is very careless the way that he plays basketball. Like, he's obviously like relied heavily on his height and his length for his entire basketball career. Like, served him well in the G League. I really thought we were getting a guy. I mean, again, like, it always comes back to, we thought he was just an absolute plug and play from Mason Plumlee, which didn't seem like
I did
that high
not
of a
think
bar.
that. I did not think that. I think they're very different players.
Well, Okay, there many thought that. Many people thought that. We all thought. I think we all.
I
except for
probably
potentially-
thought that more than you. I unfortunately thought that a little more
Yeah,
than you.
to me, Hartenstein is like the absolute. Like he is the candidate to be cut out of the lineup as ASAP.
Right. I thought he was a different player than Mason Plumlee, but I thought that the backup center position wouldn't have just this big of an overall drop off.
I don't know that it would though. Then again, the Nuggets are missing both of their power forwards.
Sure,
both
that's a
of
good
whom
point.
can slide and play the 5,
Yep.
and I really do think that that might be one of the paths for the Nuggets going forward.
Yeah.
I'm much less ready to give up on Hartenstein than you guys seem to be. I do think he's running out of chances though. Like honestly, Millsap or JaMychal Green probably back after the All-Star break.
Sure.
That's 2 weeks from now.
Millsap's on the road trip. On this road
He
trip,
might
I
be
saw.
back. Yeah, so he might be back soon. So I think Hartenstein is running out of chances, and it's a drag for him because
I mean,
goes back to the shelf.
personally, like I just don't trust him.
that's a good way to put it.
I just feel shaky every time he's on the court.
He missed 2 layups in a row on one possession this game. That was just like,
Right.
you
Two
let-
absolute gimmies.
real gimmies. And then on top of that, 1 rebound, 1 assist. He plays 12 minutes,
3
gets 1
fouls.
rebound, 3 fouls. Just not a great night from
Yeah.
him.
He just does not have great body control.
But we can't dwell on it for too long
Nope.
because we did get confirmation about something tonight.
Oh boy.
One,
Oh boy.
Gregory Williams Whittington. I have no idea if that's his name.
You didn't let me brace for this.
He
Hold on.
does exist. He exists. Greg Whittington. Gee whiz, as you called him tonight. He did play. Now, he did get 6 minutes, and he had a 6 trillion. So he had 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, 0 blocks, 0 turnovers, 0 fouls. But nonetheless, guys, honestly, it was great to see him out there. And now we know, A, that he exists, and B, what kind of player he is. Harrison, give me all of your Greg Whittington takes. Make them hot.
Well, I can't find a middle name for him. I cannot find an
He might
actual
not have
middle name
one.
for Greg Whittington.
Let's give him one.
Aloysius.
Yeah, let's call
Gregory.
him. No, I'm gonna call
Gregor.
I'm gonna call him Gregory Bucket Swinging.
I love how Greg Whittington looks. I think he's got a great style to him. The headband, the hair's flowing.
This is an elite take.
He
is the
looks.
only take you could have had.
He looks like
Actually, I'm
a
realizing you've taken my
basketball
only
player.
take here.
He looks like an NBA role player. He's got a great look to him. I'll say
Does
that.
have a great
I
look.
was watching Greg Whittington in warm-ups 2 games ago against Washington. He's got a shot. You know how Josh Richardson shoots the ball? Kind of a low release out in front of him. He's got a shot like that, and that tells me that he can be a good spot-up shooter, but not a good shooter on the move. So that's my early read on his shot. In terms of like who he is as an offensive player, I think he's going to be a spot-up shooter. Occasionally, like maybe he can shoot shot fake and take it to the hole. But if he makes an impact on this team, it's probably going to be on the defensive end, I think.
Greg Whittington is so much bigger than I even thought.
There's your take.
Dude,
I knew that was
he's-
going to be your take.
He looks imposing. I will say, like, I mean,
Listed at 6'8".
he's all of 6'8".
And it's funny, we always compared him to Torrey Craig. Torrey Craig was 6'6".
Yeah, no,
maybe.
Yeah,
he's
probably more
he's
like
way
6'5".
longer.
I'm
That's a
telling
good
you, he's a
point.
lot bigger than Torrey Craig.
That's what it was. Is you were expecting Torrey Craig.
I
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
I was. No, he looks and obviously very limited exposure to what our man G Buckets Wiz has to offer, but I mean, if we're just talking about just like physicality, length alone, like I'm very, very intrigued,
Yeah.
as I've been the whole time.
Well, hopefully we get to see more of him here in the coming games because that probably means the Nuggets are blowing teams out. It's now time for the game that is sweeping the nation.
Sweet.
The excitometer.
I think this is a very lackluster graphic.
That is.
I'm not-
Look at. There's really only 2 colors in this graph. It's not
Listen,
a spectrum
I
at all.
couldn't find- I
The
couldn't-
gradient isn't really. Wow. Low effort, Eric. Man, really phoning it
Oh,
in.
the worst part is
I
how
was worried Excite was going to be spelled
the
wrong.
worst
but I'm
part is
glad
how
it's spelled
deeply
right.
unexciting this graphic is.
Very unexciting. Very unexciting. If Eric is like giggling though, like he almost cringing. All right, we're gonna play a game now, and it's just like the dunk contest voting. So it's 5 through 10. Why does the dunk contest go 5 through 10, guys? It's not my fault. It's the dunk contest, and we're gonna go through. Oh hell
We
yeah!
got- Oh,
Landeskog
the man
goal.
rocket. The man
The
rocket.
man
scores,
rocket gets
baby.
one. All right, so we're gonna talk about how exciting are these players to watch,
Okay.
just to see, like when they come into the game.
I'm ready
How
for this.
excited are you? Where should I start? I'm going to go with... Actually, you know what? I'm going to pull this up so I can make it random because I don't want to do it. I'm going to go off the basketball references order for the Denver Nuggets. Whatever they have in here. Okay. Nikola Jokic. This ready to reveal? Ready for the big reveal, guys? This one's there's not a lot of mystery. Boom.
8.
What? Is this a real take?
Look, man. Like,
What the F is this take? I'm like upset now. I was having a great little
I think
Saturday.
this was supposed to be a layup.
We're talking about excitement meter.
Wow, you just
We're
lost a
talking about
lot of fans.
excitement
I can't. I'm hopping in the
meter,
chat
man.
now. Keep talking.
The excitement meter. Nikola Jokic, I love watching him. I know. I feel like I know what he's going to do, though. And I love it. He's
First
an
off, we need
incredible
to level
player.
set here.
He's the best player in the league. He's the MVP in my book right now.
Oh, my God.
But in terms of exciting,
Yo, we need to level set.
I've watched him so much that the excitement has just dropped off a tad. Maybe if I hadn't watched him for 5-6 seasons in a row,
Harrison,
it would drop off
Just
a
unfollow
tad.
on
Harrison.
Twitter. You're losing Twitter followers.
Harrison, 5
Wow.
through 10. How excited are you when you see me before each game?
That's true. It's good calibration here.
5.
5. Boy,
Harrison.
Jokic
Jokic is my favorite player ever. He's he's like, if this was a scale of 1 to 1,000,000, he would be a 1,000,000. He sets the parameter.
I got to tell you, Harrison, you are not popular. This
I'm
year.
telling you this.
You really think Jokic is an 8 to watch?
I am trying to
is so
put this in
crazy.
perspective of what I think Michael Porter Jr. is on the excitometer.
I'm legitimately upset
and what I
right
think
now.
Nikola
I'm
Jokic
legitimately
is.
mad.
I think the might have got the biggest insult of your life. It just stopped.
The win
win
stuff.
stuff.
We're also getting hashtag cancel Harrison.
It means how fun are you to watch? Just how fun is Jokic to watch? He's a 10. He's a 10 out of 10. There's no...
we got to move on. This is
We
going
gotta
nowhere.
move on.
This is
We
going
gotta
nowhere.
move on. Wow, Harrison. Wow. Just lie. Prison. Wow. Honestly, my favorite, not even exaggerating, my favorite player to watch. There's nobody that's a higher scorer than Jokic.
Oh, my
All right,
God.
Monte Morris.
Oh,
Ooh,
boy.
Monte Morris. This is an
Oh, boy.
interesting one.
Oh, boy.
Are you ready? Are we ready for the reveal?
I'm ready.
I went 7, 5.
Man, all right, I'm gonna get hated on a lot during this segment.
Wow.
Yeah,
Apparently,
you really are judging harshly here. All right, Harrison, you're the odd.
I mean, if
oddball.
I think Jokic is an 8 and MPJ is a 10, Monte Morris is definitely a 5.
Let us know. Monte Morris is solid. I do enjoy him. Like, he does do some things I like.
I enjoy him for sure.
End of first quarter, end of third quarter, he's the king of that. I like that. There's some excitement. You know, I like him. I root for him.
7 for me feels like it means that when you come on the court, I feel like good things can happen.
Yeah. I agree. 7 sounds about right. 5. All right, Jamal Murray. Man, this one's tough. This
Not
one's
for
tough
me.
for me. This one's tough. Ready? Reveal.
Adam, you and I are in lockstep.
Wow,
tonight.
look at us. We're like the
9.
same brain. A 9. All right, Harrison changed it when he saw it. He's reading the comments and he's like, wow, it is not good.
Dude, there's been multiple super chats looking to punish Harrison.
Oh, did you get? Does he have to drink shots now? Hell yeah!
This is actually by design.
Get him the other Rakia, the bad
Actually by
one.
design.
the $7
By design. Jamal Murray at his best, a 10.
my God.
Jamal Murray's honestly, if Jokic is a 1,000,000, he's a 999,999. Like, he's right there.
Yep.
When he's good.
Yep.
But the fact that he frustrates me from time to time lowers him to a 9. But still, when he's on fire, oh my God.
Oh, that's just it. Is it when
Did Jamal Murray the last 8 games?
Is a
Dude,
10.
like,
a
come
10.
on.
Yeah,
a 10.
because Bubble Murray is a 15,
Bubble Murray is like.
but we don't always
Bubble
get.
Murray is off the scale.
But we don't always get a Bubble Murray.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
We're starting to more reliably get a. What's a step below a Bubble Murray?
A seeding round?
How about
he
just
was,
like
he was terrible in the
How
seeding
about just
round.
like a
Ish Smith.
reliable
In Ish
professional
Smith
Jamal
against the
Murray?
Nuggets?
Nuggets at Detroit in January. Murray, not great.
Harrison, I hate to say it, but we have lots of calls for you to take that shot.
Right now.
All right.
Hey, how would you guys rate Harrison Wynn on a scale of 1 to 10?
Rate my Rakia face on the scale.
Oh,
of
no,
1 to
let's
10.
see it. No face.
freaking
Let's see if he can do
God,
it. No face.
Faceless.
Oh, he got a little face. Little face
Oh.
there. Little
There was
face.
no
Oh,
face.
It was. I saw a
There
little.
was
ten-
no
there was
face.
a tense. There was a tense.
A man has no face.
A man has no face. All right, Will Barton. Oh boy, the chat's gonna be. This one's gonna be tough.
William B. Buckets Barton.
I'm ready.
6.
The one we have right now is a 5.
You're at a 7 for Will Barton.
I'm at a 7 for Will Barton. Well,
You got to defend
I
that.
feel like I'm the only one doing this on our correct scale.
this is
here.
not true. Oh, wow. Really? Does the chat agree? Let us know in the comments. You guys, Will Barton
Whoa.
used to be the thrill, man. The dunks, like the pass. This year, Will Barton is like, it's a drag. Like, you guys are forgetting the real thrill.
What you just said goes against what you rated.
So you're saying only this year? This year
Yeah,
he's
like,
probably a
when
5.
he comes-
This year he's a 5.
I told you I had some hot
Well, then
takes
why didn't
tonight.
you put up a 5?
Because I'm taking the entirety of thrill.
That's
Taking
ridiculous.
the entirety of thrill.
That's ridiculous.
Facundo Campazo.
Ooh, fuck you.
Man, this one's
you.
tough for me.
This has like big international incident capabilities.
Do it. I'm a 9.
I'm a 9.
We're an 8. I almost went 8. I'm an 8.5.
See, a big factor in this is unpredictability.
Yeah. He's frustrating a lot. but when
Campazo
he's
is like
good.
the most. He's not just the most unpredictable player I've ever seen. He's probably like the most unpredictable person ever.
He makes me. That's funny.
You're like, he just has emotional problems.
You just
Heisenberg.
never know what this dude's gonna do.
He makes me laugh more than any other.
Right.
He gets more like chuckles out of me than anyone.
I would have put a 9 for Facu, but I'm dinging him for missing that 3-pointer at the end of last game. I'm sorry, rules are rules.
It's
He's
really
missed
just
easy- yeah,
if
yeah.
you've won money for him, he's good.
Yeah.
Paul Millsap,
Dad,
Dad, excitometer. We ready?
I actually might rate what I am excited for my own dad.
Excitometer.
I'm going to 5 for my own dad, and for Paul Millsap, I'm at a 7.
You're a 7. Wow, you're the outlier. He's a good player, but he is not at all exciting.
Well, unless he's performing a magic trick, that's exciting.
I can't believe you went 7. That's really.
Well, I
you
just
don't really
wanted, I
think
wanted
that,
to put as much distance between my own dad and
Oh, geez,
Paul Millsap
okay.
as possible.
Jamichael Green.
Oh yeah.
Ready?
Dude. Yup. Bong.
6. He is
Whoa.
1-8. He is
Jamichael Green's an
Jamichael
8?
Green is one level more exciting than Paul.
That's true. He's a 5.1 to
Yeah.
me.
You guys don't love Jamichael
I
Green?
do. Some people are just boringly lovable.
He's good. Great player. Great role player. Perfect for this team. Just not that exciting.
Yo, this is ridiculous. That man lights it up from behind the 3-point line. He had a few
But it's not
bad
exciting.
games.
It's not like, oh,
A
yeah,
3-point
Jamike.
Yes. We literally say that all the time. That's not exciting to you? Dude,
He's good. I love him. But some people have to be the dad of the group or the
Yeah, how
uncle.
about
He's the
dad?
uncle. He's the uncle.
Yo, this
dad
is
and
rough,
uncle.
dude. This is rough.
This is rough.
This might actually get us canceled. this
RJ
bit.
Hampton.
Oh, dude.
Right now, not going forward. Right now.
All right. I got to temper it. I got to temper it.
I got an
temper it.
8. You got 7. I'm probably a 7.7. Why are you so low? Because
Because you don't know what he's
caught
going
a
to
body
do.
tonight.
He did catch a body.
RJ Hampton in straight garbage time might be a 10 though.
RJ Hampton, like 2 years from now, is going to definitely be a 9 or a 10.
I just know, like, if RJ Hampton is shooting the ball, I'm like,
RJ Hampton in like a 3-on-3 game, 10.
the total 10. But that's not what the NBA is. It's not a 3-on-3.
He's
game.
an 8 for me. He's got room. All right, Michael Porter Jr.
Are we literally going through the entire?
We're going through the whole list, baby. Michael Porter Jr.
10.
He's a 10 to me too, man.
So
Like-
Michael Porter Jr. is the same excitement level as Nikola Jokic for you.
No, but there's just only a 5 through 10
See,
scale.
well, this is where I
There's
was
al-
coming from here. You have to account for the scale.
Here's where we go. We're at.
Oh my
Harrison
God! You put 10, and Jokic is below. He's
Right,
below this.
Jokic
He's
for me,
absolutely
I am
garbage
more
right-
excited right in this present moment to watch Michael Porter Jr. than Nikola Jokic. I'm not ashamed to admit it. That's my honest take.
No, I mean
And
it's a fair take.
and that
It's
is
a fair
reflected
take. It's a
in
fair
my
take.
scale. That's not reflected in your guys' whatever you call that crap.
Harrison's getting for real mad over here. Big man. Michael Porter, like making his 3-point shot is so beautiful. Tonight when he was on fire to start that first quarter, we stood up on every single time
Everyone.
he shot the ball.
He is
every
the
single
most
one.
exciting player in the league potentially, man. Like
Cancel Harrison is back.
so unpredictable.
Abel, we have one person in the comments.
I didn't invent the scale, guys. The dunk contest. It's the dunk
Cancel
contest scale.
Abel. Cancel Abel.
It's the dunk contest scale. And you know how sometimes they give 10s and you're like, well, that other 10 was better than this 10, but it's the scale, guys. What can you do? Isaiah Hartenstein, quick one. Well, you don't have to spend too much time here, guys.
We're only. Dude,
Where's Hartenstein?
A 1.
10? Oh, 1.
This is a 1.
I'm giving a blank.
0-1.
Wow.
An INC.
That's
incomplete.
messed up. Gary Harris. Oh, this is an interesting one. This is an interesting one. Can I tell you something? I got my card and I feel good about it.
7.
7.
Yes, it's
What's your
Gary
guess?
Harris is
7.
definitively a 7.
Oh man, he's like grimacing too.
You guys feel like you want to Vote?
Yeah. Was there a vote in the house?
Gary Harris.
There's numbers in there if you want to join us. We
Gary
have a few
Harris
more.
is the most 7 on the excitement radar ever.
No, Gary Harris when he was dude.
Excitement
2017, Gary Harris was like a 9, man.
We're not talking historical.
But
Adam.
present day
talking
Harris,
all of it. Present day.
Gary Harris is such a 7.
He's like a 6.
He's such a 7, dude.
He's like a 6.
He's
Back in the day,
he's so
don't
7.
forget Gary Harris was at one point was a real
the
homie.
most exciting thing about Gary is some of the the worst parts about him.
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, why did Gary do that? Like that can be exciting. Like,
All right,
what?
Zeke Naji.
Is this an exciting Raider?
Yeah,
Exciting,
It's the
exciting.
excitometer. You
All right,
want
I'm,
to
I'm a huge Zeke Naji guy, guys. But
Brendan, we need your take on Eric's incredible draft.
It was lackluster work. I was.
what a graphic.
You put a 5. I put a 7. Bigs aren't that exciting.
Yeah, Zeke's not that exciting.
He's just so new that he's a little exciting.
That's a good point.
I mean, look, like
Not everybody has to be exciting.
Zeke priorities right now are like fundamentally sound corner threes and like rotation defense.
Yeah, that's so true.
Come
Can I
on.
pose the most important question?
Yeah.
The vibe. What is the vibe at?
10 right now? Are you
Right
kidding?
now?
The vibe of me right now, I'm like,
It's a 79.
It's interesting you asked that, Eric, after the post game.
oh, wow. You have some stuff to share.
It started as a 10, I'll tell you.
Oh, wow. I can't wait to get there.
Vibes at an 8?
Wow.
All right. Well, I guess we could just last one that's like really in the rotation. PJ Dozier. PJ Dozier. It's the last one.
8.
I think he's an 8.
7.
Dozier's fun, but he's a
Eight
little
so
chaos.
far.
He's a little chaos.
Chaos.
8.
Yeah.
8. All right. Well, you've teased us, and now I got to get to
Here's a
it.
request. Coach Malone.
Oh, God. Coach Malone. You know, he's kind of exciting.
He's a good presser.
9.
9, yeah, that's
Dude,
right.
I
Yeah,
love
definitive
me-
9.
I love me some Moach.
I'm going to go 8. He's pretty exciting.
So listen, fellas, the vibes tonight, they matched the vibes before the game, during the game, after the game. The team sounded a lot like the media and the fans right now. More or less a sigh of relief. Yeah, it was a lot of... The vibes were good. You got the sense that they needed to see this. Michael Malone said right away, quote, I felt tonight was Denver Nugget basketball. The ball was moving, bodies were moving, we played for each other. He said he told the guys that before the game, got everyone together and just reminded them, go out there and play for each other tonight. Something Porter brought up in his media availability. Again, that always sounds like empty words when they're losing, but in the past, this team has responded to that notion, that trope, if you will. And so that was something he preached tonight, and it seems like they sold it. They bought it, rather. On MPJ, Malone said, what I love about Michael Porter Jr., he was shooting into a big hoop tonight, but he's growing into a complete player.
Check it off. Check off the bingo card.
Here's some real fan service, because I know a lot of you want to hear these two things. Well, they came in the same paragraph. Quote, I think it's great to have Monte and Jamal on the court at the same time. And in that same paragraph, he went on to describe Michael Porter Jr. as a stretch 4, and also talked about how beneficial it is to have a guy like Porter stretching the floor alongside Jokic. Wow. So two things the fans have been, really wanting to see. Maybe something we'll see more of going forward. Finally, from Malone, he loved Monte Morris tonight. That point of attack defense been such a big problem for about a month now. He thought Morris was great on SGA tonight. Sometimes your defense starts on ball. Monte Morris took that challenge tonight.
Monte Morris had a couple standout defensive performances this season. I think on Steph Curry earlier this year was one of them.
Yep, absolutely.
And tonight, I guess, as well.
And it's, a bounce back from a Washington game where he was pretty rough on that end. So
Michael Porter spoke after the game, too?
Michael Porter spoke after the game. He said, tonight we played 4 quarters of good basketball. We just shared the ball. Everyone did their thing, and it was just fun to play. He talked about Malone sharing that in the Malone anecdote from before the game. He said that resonated with him. They played for each other. Someone asked him about his chemistry with Jokic and Murray. And he said, it better come along. We better figure it out. He said that with a smile on his face, went on to say that it is, but he understands the sense of urgency there, I think, as well as anyone else.
I absolutely love that.
More quotes you're going to love, guys. On his shooting slump, quote, I think that shooting slump is a blessing in disguise because I got to work on other parts of my game.
The tower fell, and he accepted it. I love it.
He had to focus on other parts of his game.
Wow.
In the response to the quote where Malone called him a complete player, Porter said, quote, it's just a mindset change. Going out there, not trying to react to the game, trying to anticipate. That split second in the NBA will get you killed.
How many times can Michael Malone call Michael Porter a complete player in a week? We're going to find out.
Hopefully every time
3.5
he talks about him
is
from
the
here
line.
on out.
And then Porter shared a really interesting anecdote where, he talked about trying to take the emotion out of every play, every game. So much is on the line with him specifically. He said sometimes he just has to write down 3 things he did well, 3 things he needs to improve on, and leave it at that. Quote, there's a lot of basketball games. And I thought that was kind of a healthy perspective. I mean, This guy's being asked to learn essentially an entire career's worth of stuff at once here.
Yeah.
And he's having a hard time. He was pretty, I think, candid about how difficult that process is.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
I asked Will Barton III if he feels healthy and in shape. Remember, he told us he might have to get in shape this season. He said, yes, quote, everything with me now is mental. When I don't take myself out of the game, you see complete games. Sometimes I take myself out of the game, bullshit games. I can't keep doing that, he said, and I can't keep getting frustrated no matter what happens. I'm now paraphrasing. I got to stay locked in out there. So some really candid quotes from Barton, who I think is kind of admitting to this season not going the way he envisioned. And he really feels like he can still be a positive player, but it's what's holding him back, what's taking him out is the mental side of things.
Was that why the vibes weren't perfect?
Well, no. Then we talked to Nikola Jokic,
Oh,
who
God. I gotta
was
buckle
very,
up
very
here.
understated. And at one point, Joel Rush asked him, how close this team is to being the team that they need to be, maybe the team that they thought they were heading into the season. And Jokic just said, quote, we thought that we are really good, but we lost some big pieces. We need to know who we are. We can have goals or whatever, but we need to know who we actually are. Which I thought was a real glass of cold water on the whole, just sort of hype train. But, Jokic is not getting carried away with one win over the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Sure.
This team's a far
Only we do
way
that.
from being the team they were last year, right? Which was, in fact, contending for a title. He did say he loved the flow of the offense tonight, Adam. He said, I think we can learn from tonight. Tonight needs to show us how easy offense can be. It doesn't always have to be post-ups or pick and rolls or whatever. Sometimes we can just move the ball, and that's very beneficial for us.
It's funny, this team needs the All-Star break badly just to get healthy and for Yoke to get a rest. But also, if they continue this momentum, I mean, their remaining 3 games, Chicago, Milwaukee, Indiana, not the easiest games, but 2 of those are pretty winnable, I think, maybe 3. They could get some momentum, but they also need the All-Star break so badly. I feel like Yoke's presence right now, his mentality kind of says that.
Right. I agree with that.
Those don't sound that bad to me, though.
No, I just mean that everyone was excited. It was like an every nugget is good night. Malone's lauding everyone. And just Jokic was, he's right. It was just a nice check, hey, we're still not that team that we were a year ago, and we've got a long way to go. So.
Yeah.
Maybe his finger on the pulse about what it would mean to overemphasize this game, maybe knowing that internally or something. I don't know.
Right.
I would rate that a 9.5 still. I'm a happy grader, though. I'm not like Harrison over here. On a scale of 1 to 10, hold on. On a scale of 1 to 10,
let's get an
excitometer, Nikola Jokic. Go ahead. Show. Hold up what yours
look at
is.
Harrison.
Don't look at Harrison for
As
advice.
a player?
As a player.
I'm not here.
Oh, so not an 8.
Wow.
So not an 8, huh?
Brendan, hold on. What would you rate Michael Porter Jr.?
Excitement?
Yeah.
9.
Oh,
wow.
Okay. This does not go along with my argument.
It's your turn to get canceled.
What about
by
a Jamal
Serbia.
Murray?
I've already been canceled.
What about Jamal Murray?
On the he's like, here's the thing: his excitement meter and his frustration meter matched. They're both at a 10. They're both at a 10.
Cancel Harrison.
He had an 8 for Jokic. I don't know what to say. I honestly
Pragmatic
don't know
Harrison.
what to say.
You got
Cancel
Harrison on for the hype
It's-
segment.
I was gonna say it's not looking good in the chat.
I just can't imagine being like, Jokic, he's pretty fun to watch. He's pretty
Yeah,
good.
you're like,
Not great, not
Michael
great.
Jordan in his prime, he scored 35. He could have scored 60.
Oh, one more thing. Jokic rejected the label of being a dominant passer. He said,
Who we got?
of the word dominate, only a couple people in this league dominate. And he just rejected the notion that he is
Did he
a
say
dominant
who was
player.
dominant?
No.
Oh.
That's that.
Did you let him know that he fit
Yeah,
that description?
it was funny because Mike Singer referred to him that way, and then Jokic was rejecting the label, and you could see Mike in the corner like, I don't know. I kind of think you are.
A little dominant,
A little
I'd say.
dominant, yeah.
A
He's
little
dominant in my opinion. Thanks, guys. Saturday night Winners Lounge is always
Enjoy
the
your
most
weekend,
fun.
baby. Go
We
Nugs.
got our Avs family in the building.
We got our Avs fans. They're starting their show here in just a second. It's
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
be a Winners Lounge as well. Knock on wood. I don't want to jinx it,
check
but they're up
out,
4-1 with
Jesus,
8
man,
minutes.
Careful with that.
Bring up the Av post game here shortly after. Also on YouTube. Also very exhilarating.
And remind yourself, if you do want to come out to the DNVR bar, especially on these weekends, man, there's no better place to be in Colorado.
But you gotta plan. You can't show up at game time. It's not working like that anymore.
I'm going to go join the party. Thanks for hanging with us. Hit us a like on the way out, guys. We'll see you next time.
go.
Let's go.